Stress, the silent killer. So many of us are struggling with stress, heightened state of stress, heightened state of chronic stress, something that happens over a long period of time, and the body is just not able to restore itself back to equilibrium. And studies have shown that unmanaged stress can trigger anxiety, depression, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, irritability, says Dr. Campbell, and many other signs and symptoms. And many of us, unfortunately, don't know how to cope with negative stress or the chronic stress. There's positive stress, which is when you have exams or projects and you're getting, little amped up, and it's putting a little fire in your behind to make a move. And that's okay. It's when you have stress all the time and you're stressing about what other people think. You're worried about why they think that way. You're worried about your grades. You're worried about family life. You're worried about friends. You're worried about all these other things. And unfortunately, we get distracted. But it also then leads to heightened emotion. And emotions can be a very positive thing. There's always the dichotomy of happy versus sad, joy versus grief. It's part of the human experience. And many of us avoid emotion like the plague. We don't want to deal with it. We're taught that we need to put it underneath the rug, that it's something that we can put aside and deal with later, and it's not. So I really encourage you to allow emotion to come to and through you and process it. You can process it in many ways. You can journal about it. You can have a conversation within your head about it. You can talk to a friend about it. You can talk to a coach or a therapist about it, whatever it is that you need in order for you to process those emotions. We're not meant to hold it in and store it. When we hold it in and store it, then it starts to break down the body, and the body then has anxiety, depression, and other symptoms. Now, this came home to me on such a big way when my ex-husband, who we had separated for a couple of years, he had been living in the adjacent apartment to the main house, and he was making my life a living hell. He persuaded the girls to not have a relationship with me, and they left a year and a half ago. The day they left, my body had I had a full body reaction to it. I kept walking around saying freedom, peace. It was amazing. And I didn't realize how much anxiety, stress that I was holding in my physical body until they left. So oftentimes, this is why I call it the silent killer. We don't realize how much we take in and how much we're dealing with. And a lot of us, again, are given the tools as we grow up to manage stress and manage chronic stress. So what I also noticed is that my hair was falling out. So I was having this big gap right in through here, and it was thinning out, and I thought maybe I had alopecia. And lo and behold, a month or so later, after they left, the hair started growing back. It got healthier, it got shinier, it got curlier. Didn't make any sense, but it was beautiful. And so it can be undone and it can be managed, and we need to figure out a way. So there are ways that we can do it holistically. If we need to go to a doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, and get medication, there's no shame or embarrassment with that, but there are holistic ways we can do that, and I recommend getting grounded. A lot of us are empaths. We need to protect our energy, and we also need to stay in the present moment. Future projecting or looking back at the past and any kind of trauma from our childhood is not helpful. We need to use our emotions actually in the reverse way as a guidance system. So if you're not feeling well, what's the thought behind that? There is a thought, a subconscious thought that's there, and you want to unravel it. Once you unravel it, then you can figure out where it's coming from, and you can then reframe it, because most of our thoughts on a subconscious level are untrue. These are beliefs, and beliefs are just repeated thoughts. So we want to be able to capture what those thoughts are, that mind chatter that we have, the monkey mind, that mean girl or mean guy in our heads, so that we can start to heal.